All right, here we go. Here we go. Another night of NBA playoffs is upon us. Thank you so much, my friends, for joining me. My name is CJ Curry. It's the CJ Curry Show. You know it's presented by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is making your daily fantasy sports experience simple, allowing you to select anywhere from 2 up to 6 of your favorite superstars from your favorite sports. Maybe that's NBA, maybe that's MLB, and you can win up to 25 times your money if you get 6 out of 6 picks right. A fantastic time for you to sign up for PrizePicks. Today is Flex Friday. They're doing a $20 risk-free promotion, meaning your first Flex entry made after 10:30 Eastern time, AM, which is now, is totally risk-free. If you lose the $20, they refund it to you, okay? So you got nothing to lose. You can win up to $500 on a $20 6-pick flex entry. So shout out to PrizePicks. Guys, they're doing a 100% instant deposit match when you use code Curry. Go down to the description of today's video if you're not already playing on PrizePicks. Get yourself signed up and join me for some NBA and MLB picks. I release videos and content for you guys for free every single day right here on this very YouTube channel. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat. I see we got Adrian in the building. Swish Gaming is here. Shout out to you guys. T-Bone's here. He says Big Flex Cheat Sheet Friday. Bang, 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 gang. Something like that. I might have messed that up. Troy, let's freaking go. We got Cash Hawks in the building. Get them likes up for the channel. Listen, my friends, we got 66 people watching, 21 likes. The math ain't mathin' right now. Y'all that are watching, take your little thumb, slide it over to the little thumbs up button, tap that thing for me. We went over 100 likes on both of our last 2 shows. Let's run it up to 100 or more once again. Can we do it? Can y'all do it? Help me out. Help a brother out. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the NBA season. And by hitting that like button, it helps get the word out, get the channel out to more eyeballs and more thumbs for more likes. Shout out to everybody supporting. IRB, Neil, Caesar, I see you. Caesar's ready for the Flex Friday. You flex, I got a flex bag, Caesar. Patrick's in the building. Cross Report Films is here. D'Angelo's here. Fierce Shaolin's here. Cedale Adams is here. Neville's here. Patrick's in the building. Dominic. Who else we got? Everyday Fantasy, a.k.a. my man Don P. We got Anthony Edwards himself, Minnesota Timberwolf. Anthony Edwards is here. Peyton Buns in the building. Who else we got in the building? Y'all let me know. Matthew, Mark, no Luke, no John, but we got Matthew and Mark in here. Bino Pacino, love that name. He's showing me some love, man. Back to you, Bino Pacino. Truth Serum. Love it, man. Love all you guys. Thank you for the support. All right, now that we got asses in seats, we got eyeballs on screens, we got ears perked up, ready to listen to what I got to say today. Let's go ahead and run this this giveaway real quick. For those of you who don't know, every time I go live here, we pick a winner from the previous show's comment section. That winner receives a risk-free 2-pick power play on PrizePicks. They get both of those picks right. They get $100 added to their PrizePicks account. So I'm giving away one of these risk-free entries every single time I go live. To qualify, here's what you got to do. Be a subscriber. So hit the subscribe button now if you're not already subscribed. Slap the like button. And then once I end today's show, the replay automatically goes up on YouTube. Go to the comment section of the replay. Today's video with Karl Anthony Towns as our thumbnail. Go down there, leave a comment. It could be your favorite pick, prop, or play of the day. It could just be you leaving a comment like, hey, what are you having for dinner tonight? Whatever you want to do, comment on today's replay of today's show. All right, that's how you get qualified to win one of these risk-free entries. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and pick our winner today. Good luck to everybody who dropped a comment on the show from the last live that we did. 25 comments in total. One of you guys is going to get lucky and get yourself one of these risk-free 2-pick power plays to get $100 added to your PrizePicks account. Let's find out who it is right now. Let's see. It looks like it's D'Angelo Sinning. D'Angelo, one of our former Patreon members. Hopefully he gets back in the Patreon gang soon. Shout out to all my Patreon supporters out there who are watching me live. D'Angelo came through. He said CJ is the GOAT. Not just the GOAT once. He left 2 GOATs on there. He says, I'm the double GOAT. Well, I appreciate you, D'Angelo. I don't know about that. I like to consider myself just a mere mortal, just a human being like you who is here, sent on earth to help you with your PrizePicks plays. That's my goal. That's my mission here on YouTube with these shows. But I appreciate you, D'Angelo, leaving the kind words. Appreciate you leaving the love. D'Angelo, you got to shoot me a DM. I need your PrizePicks email address so you could DM me at Curry the Creator on Twitter. You see it down in below. Or you could go to Discord, our free Discord, link down in the description. You could join me there and DM me on there, D'Angelo. Either which way you want to do it, I need your PrizePicks email address. We'll get that 2-pick power play added to your account as soon as possible. If there's anybody out there that I owe a free entry to, pump the brakes, hold your horses. It's coming. Things like this take time, but good things do come to those who wait. So there you go. That's the name of the game right there. 2-pick power play to win $100. D'Angelo, you're the lucky winner. Hopefully you're watching live. If you're not watching live, well then catch me on the replay, all right? There's always a replay out there for you guys. All right, let's get into today's NBA slate. 2 games, but 2 important games. Playoff games. It's playoff season here for the NBA. Guys, hit the like button if you're ready for some playoff basketball. I know I am. I'm pumped up to see tonight's matchups, starting with this 7 o'clock game between the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat. Pretty low total here, I'm not going to front. It's just 208.5. 208.5 total is very low. So they're expecting a low and slow style game here between the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat. The spread is 5.5. All right, we saw the Chicago Bulls win the other night, knocking off the Toronto Raptors. So they're playing some pretty good ball. We saw Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan really come through clutch at the end of that game. Both of those guys balled out. The good news is if you're a Miami Heat player, supposedly, DeMar DeRozan's daughter will not be in the crowd tonight in Miami, which is good news if you want to take the Miami Heat free throw props, right? Did y'all watch that? Did y'all see DeMar DeRozan's daughter doing what she was doing? I kept hearing this this blood-curdling scream coming from somewhere off camera, somewhere out in the stands, somewhere out in the crowd. Somebody was screaming at the top of their lungs every time a Toronto Raptor player went to the free throw line. I was like, who the heck is this? It was DeMar DeRozan's daughter, y'all. And some of them Raptors were missing some free throws, and I have to believe that maybe she had something to do with it. Luckily, I think they said she is staying home tonight. Corey says she's in school for this game. Fantastic. Maybe we feel a little bit better then about taking some overs on some Miami Heat free throw props. All right, as far as injury news goes, the Chicago Bulls are going to be completely healthy. Nobody on the injury report, so that's good news for them. Miami, you got Jimmy Butler listed as a game time decision. He's playing. All right, he might be a game time decision, but he's playing. He's playing. Gabe Vincent also looking like a game time decision, but more probable than doubtful. You got Kyle Big Booty Lowry also on the injury report. Game time decision as well. Does not look like he is probable, but it also doesn't look like he's doubtful. I would be shocked if he didn't play. Lowry, by the way, off the bench in that last game for Miami. Huge numbers. I mean, he just busted out of nowhere. It was like a vintage Kyle Lowry game. Kyle Lowry went absolutely bonkers. So hopefully Lowry's back out there tonight. All right, moving on to the 9:30 game, OKC versus Minnesota. As far as injuries go, Pokashevsky for OKC, not a big impactful piece of injury news. He's out. He's not going to play tonight. No big deal, though. Minnesota, on the other hand, keep an eye on Rudy Gobert. He's really the big one here. Dealing with back spasms. Rudy Gobert's status truly up in the air at this time. We don't know if he's going to play or not. Of course, he was suspended for the last game, but he said he probably wouldn't have played anyway because the back spasms were so bad. So keep an eye on Rudy Gobert. We've also got Noel listed as a game time decision. Now, Karl Anthony Towns is on this injury report. Guys, if Karl Anthony Towns doesn't play tonight, I would be shocked. I think Gobert's more likely to be out than Karl Anthony Towns is more likely to be out, all right? So if one of these two guys is out, it'd probably be Gobert is who I would put my money on as being ruled out tonight. But hopefully Karl Anthony Towns plays. Anyway, McDaniels is out. Naz Reid also out. So those guys are going to be out for Minnesota today. 228.5 is your total. Nicer total here. 20-point higher total than the first game of the night with a 5.5-point spread on this one as well. So as far as games that I want to target, probably going to be this later game. But, you know, it's playoff basketball. I'm going to be taking some picks and plays from both of these games. All right, so that's the rundown, your 2-game NBA slate. We'll have a lot more games tomorrow, Saturday. I'm going to try and do another one of these live streams, another one of these shows for you guys for tomorrow's NBA games. I know they've already got picks and stuff up on the board. We'll probably dabble, sprinkle in some of those, but I'd really like for us to kind of try to stay focused on the Chicago, Miami, OKC, Minnesota game tonight and save tomorrow's props for tomorrow as far as what we're talking about here. So hopefully that sounds good to you guys. Anyway, we're going to be using the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer to help us today with our picks, our props, and our research. Of course, this tool's fantastic for you to get in on the value when it comes to PrizePicks props before the lines get bumped up, before they get bumped down, or before PrizePicks comes in removes them altogether. That's what they ended up doing to Fred VanVleet over his 2.5 3-point makes the other night. They ended up pulling him down completely. And of course, Fred VanVleet smashed those 3-point makes. We also had Nikola Vucevic over 27.5 points and rebounds. And guess what? The guy finished with 27 and we lost by the hook. Ouch. It's a hard time sometimes playing these props. Anyway, get your hands on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, $5 off your first month. Go down to the description of today's video. All the way down at the bottom, you'll see a link. I've left a promo link for you guys to save some money on your first month. Get started if you want to try out the Optimizer. All right. Bino Pacino says, we need you tomorrow, bro. I will try my best to be here. You know, life happens when you're booed up, when you got obligations. Sometimes real life gets in the way. I'll try to be here for you guys, though. I'll try to be here. We'll see what we could do. Run this up to 100 likes, and I'll feel a little bit more encouraged to possibly try to get here for you guys tomorrow, all right? Run them likes up. Let's see if we get 100 likes. We get 100 likes, I'll do whatever I have to do to be here tomorrow at 12 o'clock. It's a deal. All right, starting things off here. Looking at some plus EV plays. I'll get to your questions. I know you guys got a lot of them up in the comment section of the live chat. We'll get to some of your questions in just a moment. I want to scan through sort of the first page here of the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, try to find some plus EV plays for you guys, some plays that are also projecting well. We want them to be plus EV. We want them to project well. We're going to check 2-3 different models and make sure that the projections are jiving with the way that the optimizer is telling us to play these picks. So let's start things off here with Taurean Prince. Over 1.5 3-point makes. This is currently the hottest play on the optimizer board right now. 55% chance that Taurean Prince knocks down at least 2 triples. We saw him play some good basketball the other night against the Los Angeles Lakers. It was the Prince, Taurean Prince, versus the King LeBron James. And Taurean Prince was holding his own in that game. So 55% chance that he's going to knock down at least 2 threes. So we know that it is a plus EV play. Let's go check some projections out. We'll use a couple of different projection models throughout today's video. This one here is a premium projection model, meaning you have to pay for this one. This is Fantasy Labs, all right? Fantasy Labs you have to pay for. RotoWire you have to pay for. We've also got NumberFire. Now, NumberFire is completely free. They offer projections for fantasy score and for single stat player props. So we'll use all 3 of those. But first projection we have for Taurean Prince, 1.7. 1.7 3-point makes. Again, the over looks like the optimal play here. Projected for 1.7. Let's check a couple different projections though for Taurean Prince. We're not going to stop at just one projection. Let's go for a couple more. 1.85 3-point makes on his second projection. So far we're 2 for 2 with projections over 1.5 3-point makes for Taurean Prince of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And last but not least, we're going to use NumberFire. If you're using a Windows computer, Control F brings up this search function. Command F, if you're on Mac, helps you find things a lot quicker this way. Anyway, his projected 3-point makes are 1.8. So that's 3 for 3. 3 different models, 3 different projections, all have him going over 1.5 3-point makes. So it is a plus EV play, 55% chance that he knocks down at least 2 trays. So that could be our first play of the day if we want to go there. All you would do, come over here to PrizePicks, find his 3-point prop, boom, boom. There you go. There's your first plus EV well-projected play of the day. Let's go find some more. We're going to try to build out at least a 5-pick, maybe a 6-pick if we have enough picks to fulfill all 6. I'm going to skip over some of these plays. Some of these are free throw makes. Some of these other ones have been bumped up or bumped down already. I'm going to skip over those. Here's one. Bam Adebayo at 18.5 points. The optimizer giving us almost a 54% chance that Bam will go over his point line of 18.5 tonight, going up against the Chicago Bulls. So at 18.5 points, the optimizer saying take the over. So let's go take a look at some projections here, see if those projections are looking healthy for Bam Bam. Maybe they're not, though. Maybe we shouldn't go over. Well, I can tell you this, the first projection looking sweet. 19.6 points on a line of 18.5 here on PrizePicks. So first projection, very strong. I like that. Taking a look at the next projection here for Bam Adebayo. 18.5 is the line. 18.2 is the projection. Now, that's not a horrible projection. If that was like 17.2, I'd feel way worse about it. But it's pretty close, between 18 and 19 points. So we're gonna let that slide. Let's go to a third projection, though. I want to see what the third projection's looking like for him. Here we go again. A pretty tight number projection-wise compared to the line of 18.5. So, I wish the projections were a little bit stronger on some of these sites. 18.4, 18.2, and then you got this one here sitting at 19.6. So that kind of gives you an idea. Anywhere from a low of 18.2 to a high of 19.6 on Bam Adebayo's points at 18.5. What do you guys think? I want you guys to weigh in. Let me know. Are we liking Bam Adebayo to score at least 19 tonight against the Chicago Bulls? I mean, taking a look here over on props.cash. If you're not using props.cash yet, I could save you some money. 25% off your first month when you use code Curry. Let's jump into props.cash real quick and look at this one a little bit closer. I just kind of want to see how Bam Adebayo's been doing against the Chicago Bulls. Has he been scoring 19 or more points regularly against the Bulls when they meet? Maybe he hasn't been. I mean, this tool right here is going to show us. It's going to bring a visual component and let us see how he's performed against the Bulls this season. All right, so he's actually had some really good games against the Bulls. 12 points, that was at the start of the season, kind of a bad performance there, but then he comes back with 27 points, 23 points in his last two games against the Chicago Bulls. Most recently, he had 23 at Chicago on March 18th. That was just about a month ago, less than a month ago. So he's 2 for 3 against the Bulls, averaging 20.7 points per game in 3 matchups against Vucevic and the Chicago Bulls. Patrick saying he's not touching it. Bino Pacino saying, I'm staying away from Bam Adebayo. Corey saying, I'm taking Bam's points, rebounds, and assists under, not over, huh? Wow, okay. Well, I just want to show you guys a little bit more information here on Bam Adebayo before you go and say you ain't playing it or it's a bad play or whatever. He's 2 for 3 against the Bulls. Let's take a look at how he does when he plays at home. Now, I can tell you this, the last 5 games for Bam Adebayo have been horrendous as far as scoring goes. 9, 18, 14, 4, and 12 in his last 5 games overall. But we wanted to kind of take a look and see if he's scoring more or less when he plays at home. He's averaging 20.3 points per game this season, 19.9 points per game at home, and 20.7 points per game when he's on the road. So it just gives you a little bit more information on Bam Adebayo. This is expected to be sort of a lower scoring game. Normally, guards typically have a pretty good time against the Chicago Bulls. I don't know about the bigs so much. I mean, we saw Fred VanVleet light the Bulls up, for example. Now, Pascal Siakam had a pretty good game. Maybe you kind of compare him to Bam Adebayo, but, take that for what it's worth. 2 for 3, though, for Bam Adebayo. We'll leave him out for now. Since you guys kind of seem to be a little sour on that play, we'll leave Bam Adebayo alone, and we'll try to find something better. How about this one? He's our thumbnail player of the day. It's Karl Anthony Towns. He's at 4.5 assists. The optimizer giving this one about a 53.5% chance to hit, but we're not going over here. We're not saying Karl Anthony Towns is going to go for more than 4.5 assists. We're actually saying the under. According to the optimizer, the under should be the way that we go. All right, so this is another Minnesota Timberwolves play. We've already got Taurean Prince over 1.5 3-point makes. Let's take a look at Karl Anthony Towns, some of the projections on his assist line today. Here's a first projection for you. 4.4, line is 4.5, so this is less than 4.5, closer to 4 than it is 5, making you feel probably a little bit better about taking the under on Karl Anthony Towns at 4.5 dimes. So one projection, looking pretty sweet. Let's check some other ones, though, because that one was a little too close for comfort. How about this one? 4.5 is the line. 4.3 is the projection. Again, closer to 4 than 5. Maybe he ends up with 4 dimes tonight going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's 2 out of 2 projections having Karl Anthony Towns for less than 4.5 dimes. Let's take it to a third projection, just to be thorough, just to make sure that we're doing the Lord's work here. 4.5 assists on a projection of 4.5 or a line of 4.5 on PrizePicks. So you got anywhere from a low of 4.3 to a high of 4.5, but things kind of seem to be on the lower end between 4 and 5, meaning closer to 4 than 5, right? So maybe you take a shot on Karl Anthony Towns going under 4.5 assists tonight. So you head back over to PrizePicks here, tap Karl Anthony Towns' name, and boom, hit the less if you're feeling it. Are you guys feeling this one? Let me know. Let me know. Let's see what else we got here on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. We're just working our way through the board here. We're trying to stick to tonight's game. So I'm going to skip over some of these Cavs props, some of these other, Memphis Grizzlies props and stuff. We're trying to stick to tonight's games. Here's one. Jimmy Butler, 13.5 rebounds and assists. The optimizer saying take the under based on the odds on your favorite sports books. Giving this one about a 53.5% chance to go under. What do we think? Are we trusting Jimmy Buckets to stay under 14 rebounds and assists tonight? Let's go take a look at some projections on Jimmy Butler here, because we need some other props outside of this Minnesota Timberwolves game. Here's a first projection. 12.9. 12.9 for Jimmy Butler's rebound and assist. We talked about his line being at 13.5. So far, if we're looking at going under on Jimmy Butler's rebounds and assists, this is a good first projection. Let's go to a second projection, though. Again, we're trying to gauge, these different models, these different projections. They got Jimmy Butler for 12.2 rebounds and assists on a line of 13.5. So far, the optimizer saying plus EV play, take the under on Butler at 13.5 rebounds and assists. Two different projections saying take the under on Jimmy Butler's rebounds and assists. Let's see if we could go 3 for 3 here on Jimmy Butler. The last projection model has him at 6.9 rebounds. Let's call it 7 plus 6 assists. That puts him right at like 13, which is less than 13.5. So we got 3 different models that all have him projected for less than 13.5. It's a plus EV play, about a 53.5% chance that Jimmy Butler stays under 13.5. So my friends, what else can we ask for other than for Jimmy Butler to come out there tonight and underperform in the rebounds and assists categories, right? But the less is the mathematically sound play here. It is also the play that is projecting the best. So what do you guys think? Jimmy under, over 13.5 rebounds and assists? Agree or disagree with it? The math, the odds are in our favor here. And that's really all we can ask for. Then the players got to go out there and play. But here you go. We got 3 plus EV plays, all projecting well. So that's all we could do, right? Put ourselves in the best position, get our money in good here. So let me know if you guys are liking that one. Leave a thumbs up in the chat. Or if you're watching the replay, leave a thumbs up there for me. What else we got here? Running through some of these other ones, skipping over any of the ones that could potentially tie or push, skipping over games that aren't taking place tonight. We're looking for games tonight because as far as Flex Friday goes, you can't include any props from games that are taking place tomorrow. To qualify for the Flex Friday risk-free $20 entry, all players have to be in action tonight, which means you got some NHL, some NBA, some MLB going on, but they got to be playing today. So you can't take any picks from tomorrow or days that are, in the future. All right. But that's our first run through the board, and we were able to pluck out 3 decent picks. So let's go to the chat and see what you guys are talking about here. Let's run through some of your questions. Benny Ruiz, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you, Benny. Who else we got in here? Let's see. D'Angelo saying, as a loyal Miami Heat fan, he's looking at taking Tyler Hero for more than 1.5 personal fouls. So there's a new category up on the PrizePicks board. It's called personal fouls. They just added this at the start of the playoffs here. So my guy D'Angelo saying, take Tyler Hero for at least 2 personal fouls tonight. I don't think I have any projections for personal fouls. Let me just look though. Let's see. Sometimes when you click in on a guy's name on Number Fire, it'll give you some more information. Yeah, there we go. There's a projection for personal fouls for Tyler Hero on Number Fire. 1.6 PF personal fouls against the Bulls tonight. So his line's 1.5, his projection 1.6. Guys, they also provide projections for turnovers and blocks and steals and assists and rebounds, free throw makes, 3-point makes. So check out Number Fire. It's free. I think you just sign up for free and then you get access to all their projections. So if you're looking for some projections on something like a fantasy score or something like personal fouls, they've got them here for you on Number Fire. But anyway, Tyler Hero's projection is 1.6. So that's slightly more or higher than his line of 1.5 personal fouls. So maybe there's some merit to taking the over on the personal fouls for Tyler Hero at 1.5. Let's see here. And I'm not going to get to everybody's question. I just don't have the time. I'm one person. There's a lot more of you than there are me. So if you have something that is a must, you must have an answer to your question about a player prop. Feel free to use super chats, like as $1.99, or you could go up to I don't know, $199 on Super Chat, whatever you want to do. But leave a Super Chat. It'll highlight your comment, get you featured on today's show, and guarantee that I see that question. So I'm not going to be able to get to everybody's question. Apologize in advance. I'm going to get to as many as I can, though. Here's one. IRB Neil says, I want you to check out Jalen Williams if you can. PrizePicks has limited props for him, but curious how he's looking on the opto. Okay, so he's talking about Jaylin, Jalen Williams. All right, sort of the center for the Oklahoma City Thunder, if you will. He's asking about some of the picks for Jalen Williams. Well, we got a couple that are plus EV plays, so to speak. In other words, the odds are in our favor on some of these. Here's Jalen Williams' points and rebounds line at 12.5, giving us about a 52.4% chance that Jalen Williams goes over 12.5 points and rebounds. So this could be one to look at. It hasn't been bumped up yet or bumped down, so you'll get a clean win or clean loss, which is what I prefer. I don't like tying on my picks, but sometimes you can't avoid it. But let's look at Jalen Williams here at 12.5 points and rebounds. He's been seeing some more minutes lately for the Oklahoma City Thunder, so there might be some credibility here to taking the over. Here's the first projection for Jalen Williams at 12.5 points and rebounds. 12.7 on a line of 12.5. So that's slightly more. Let's get you some other projections, though. Here's a points and rebound projection of 13.2 on a line of 12.5. Okay, so 2 overs so far. And then finally, we're going to go to a third projection just to be thorough, right? 7.8 points. Let's round that up to 8, plus another 6.6 for the rebounds. You're sitting pretty right there with about 14.5 points and rebounds. That's not bad. So he's projected to go over his line of 12.5 on 3 different models. So out of all the Jalen Williams picks or plays that you could play tonight, this one is the most optimal, and it is also projecting favorably on 3 different sites. So if you wanted to take an over on any Jalen Williams prop, it looks like that's the one that you should probably take. Mathematically speaking, it's looking pretty good. So more on the 12.5 points and rebounds. So that's what we have so far. Taurean Prince over 1.5 3-point makes. Karl Anthony Towns less than 4.5 assists. Jimmy Butler less on 13.5 rebounds and assists. And then Jalen Williams, Jaylin, for more than 12.5 points, rebounds. All right. So hopefully that helps you out, rather. Let's see here. Pat's fan asking about DeMar DeRozan's points and rebounds. Can we take a look at DeMar DeRozan's points and rebounds? Well, I'm not playing it unless it's plus EV. If it ain't plus EV, I don't want it. I just don't want it. There's no reason for me to play it if the odds are not in my favor. Here's what I can tell you about DeMar DeRozan, though. At 27.5 points and rebounds, the optimizer is saying, based on the odds on the sports books, a 50.6% chance that he goes under. So this is almost a coin flip, which are the type of picks that I try to avoid when we're talking about playing here on PrizePicks. I want the ones that have, at least a 2%, 3%, 4%, 5% edge or advantage in our favor, not a 0.6% edge in our favor. So you could play this one if you want to play this one. It would be DeMar DeRozan under 27.5 points and rebounds. There are more optimal plays. There are better plus EV plays on the board than this one. But I'm going to pull some projections real quick. We won't spend too much time on this one. Here's a projection of 27.6. Here's a projection of 28.8. So 2 projections slightly over on the 27.5 line for DeMar DeRozan. And then last but not least, you got him at 28.1. So the optimizer saying take the under at 27.5, but then you got some projections here that are saying 28 or more points and rebounds could be the way to go here. So for that reason, I'm just going to leave this one alone. I think there's better picks, better options out there for us to kind of examine and look at. So I'm going to stay away from that one. I'm just going to skim through some of these other questions. Anthony Ruiz, thank you for the super chat, guys. That's what I'm talking about there. For $1.99, it'll highlight your comment in the live chat window. If you open up the YouTube live chat window, there's like a little dollar bill icon. You click that, and then you can leave a super chat like Mr. Anthony Ruiz did. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says he's just here for the comments, guys. He doesn't even have a pick, prop, or play for us to discuss or look at closely. He says, I'm just here for the comments. I can respect that. We got some pretty lively comments in here. Speaking of, guys, we got over 100 people watching, and for some reason, we are not at 100 likes yet. I'm going to stay on top of you because we've went 2 for 2 for 100 or more likes in our last 2 shows, and I can't only like this video but once. I can only like it once myself. That's where you guys come in. Unleash the power of the people. Slap that like button if you're watching. Let's run these things up to 100. I said if we get 100 likes, you'll see me here Saturday, tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time. That's the deal. That's the agreement. Listen, shake my hand. I'll be here. Okay? 100 likes or more, I'll be here at 12 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow to help you guys out. Let's go through some more of these comments here. We're looking to build out at least a 5 pick, maybe even a 6 pick. Here's what we got so far. We got 4. 2 of these from Minnesota. We got 1 OKC prop, 1 Miami Heat prop. All right. We're trying to find at least 1 more, maybe even 2 more, push it from a 10x up to a 25x payout if these all hit. So let's keep looking. I'm going to keep going through your questions here. Tyler Herro was just bumped to 2 personal fouls. Wow. Well, I don't think that's any coincidence. I think those of you who are watching live might have went out there and took Tyler Herro for at least 2 personal fouls tonight. You might have taken the over at 1.5 and therefore PrizePicks bumped it up. I mean, I don't know. L Maverick coming through with a question about Josh Giddey. What about the rebounds and assists for Giddey? He's looking to maybe take the over from what it seems. So let's go back to the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. I'm going to hit the refresh button to pull in the latest odds from all the sports books out there. We want the most recent data. And if you guys are using the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, make sure that you are hitting the refresh button early and often so that you get all the latest info. All right, we got Josh Giddey sitting out here at 15.5 rebounds and assists. As far as all the Josh Giddey props, this one takes the cake as far as it being the most optimal or the best plus EV options here of all of them. So at 15.5 rebounds and assists, the over is the way that the optimizer suggests we go. 52.5% chance that he goes over, recording 16 or more rebounds and assists tonight, taking on the Minnesota T-Wolves. All right, so we know that it's a plus EV play. Let's get some projections here on Josh Giddey and see if we should be taking the over or the under. Here's a projection of 17.1 on a line of 15.5. Okay, you have my attention, Mr. Giddey. Let's get some other projections here for him. Rebounds and assists is the stat category. 15.5 is the line. Here's the projection, 16.07. That is more. We need at least 16 out of this guy for him to make good on the over here. And then we'll go over to Number Fire. Number Fire completely free, guys. You can go and look at Number Fire yourselves if you want. Check this out. 10.2 boards, 8.2 assists. That's an 18.4 rebounds and assists projection for Josh Giddey. That's 3 for 3. All 3 projection models have him at least 16 or better on the rebounds and assists, and as high as 18.4. So it's plus EV. It's projecting well. 3 different models, 3 different projection sites, sources, models, whatever you want to call them. So I think we've found our 5th pick. So back to PrizePicks we go. We're going to go over to the rebounds and assists category. We're going to go to Josh Giddey, and we're going to click Josh Giddey for more than 15.5 rebounds and assists. So bing, bang, boom. All of a sudden, we've got ourselves 5 picks. Do we stop here? Go for the 10X? Or do we push this to a 6 pick and go for the big payout, the 25X? Let me know what y'all want to do in the chat. Let me know. Jeremiah's liking Karl Anthony Towns over on his fouls. Well, we've already got a cat play in there. We're taking the under on his assists at 4.5. But Karl Anthony Towns' personal fouls are sitting at 4. All right. I'm going to avoid any picks that could potentially tie, like Karl Anthony Towns could wind up with exactly 4 personal fouls. And if we're going to go for a 25x payout, the last thing I'd like to do is put a pick in there that could tie, and then our 6 pick becomes a 5 pick. Our 25x goes down to a 10x. So I want to avoid any type of picks that could potentially do that. So I'm going to leave cat out on 4 personal fouls. Corey says, go for the gusto. You got it, Corey. We're going to try. 82 likes, guys. We're getting closer and closer to that 100. That 100. Strength in Number says, how much do you pay for the projections of all 3? Well, I told you guys before, Numberfire's free. You pay nothing for Numberfire. I think you could just set up a free account, use like a Google email address, and you get access to Numberfire for free. Fantasy Labs, I think they might be hooking me up on Fantasy Labs, to be honest with you. I think I got a little deal with them where I ain't paying nothing for Fantasy Labs. As a content creator, we've worked something out. I don't think I'm paying Fantasy Labs anything. And then RotoWire, I think they're pretty cheap actually. It's like $100 and something for like all sports for the entire year. So, you know, a little cost of doing business, a little change going out to RotoWire, I guess. But so we're looking for a 6 pick because it seems like a lot of you guys want to go 6. Everyday Fantasy's coming through with a super chat. It looks like he's also on board with our guy Karl Anthony Towns at 4.5 assists. But are you wanting to take the over or the under, Mr. Everyday Fantasy? Let me know. The other one says White, points and rebounds. Who is White? Derek White? There's no White in tonight's games, I don't think, right? Let's see. Let's punch in White's name here. Kobe White. There you go. I forgot about Kobe White. Kobe White, points and rebounds. You're wanting to go over at 11.5? Bet. Let's take a look. Maybe this is our 6th pick. I don't think we have any Chicago Bulls yet, do we? Nope, no Chicago Bulls. And you're wanting to go over on Kobe White. Well, let's go back to the optimizer here. Let's plug Kobe White's name in. Kobe White, Chicago Bulls guard, coming off the bench. He's kind of like their 6th man, maybe their 7th man. The most optimal play on the board right now is actually Kobe White under 9.5 points. Points and rebounds, though, is an over option, just like Everyday Fantasy suggests. So at 11.5 points and rebounds, 51.7% chance that Kobe White goes over. So let's take a look at some projections on Kobe White here. Maybe we've got ourselves our 6th pick of the day. Let's go see. Points and rebounds. Kobe, C-O-B-Y. Projected for 12.9. Line is 11.5. That's almost a 1.5 points and rebounds difference. So that is a great first projection. That's a good start. Let's take a look here. Going to our second projection source. Points and rebounds, 11.5. Projected for 14.3. Ooh, we might have it. We might have it right here, guys. This might be our 6th pick of the day. 14.3 on a line of 11.5. I love what I'm seeing there. 2 very strong projections right out the gate for Kobe White. And then last but not least, a projection of 9.4 points with 3 rebounds brings them to 12.4. That is also more than 11.5. So 3 projections all have him going over 11.5. Again, there's only so much you can control as a PrizePicks player, right? They still got to go out and perform. We've done our due diligence. These are all plus EV plays. These are all projecting well on 3 reliable projection models. What else can we do? What else can we possibly do? Now these guys got to go out and get it done. So here's what we got, just to recap for you guys who are just joining us. Taurean Prince over 1.5 3-point makes. Karl Anthony Towns under 4.5 assists. Jimmy Butler under 13.5 rebounds and assists. Jalen Williams over 12.5 points and rebounds. Josh Giddey over 15.5 rebounds and assists. And last, but certainly not least, Kobe White over 11.5 points and rebounds. Now you could take all of these in a 6 pick. Maybe it's your risk-free $20 protected play for Flex Friday. You could do that. You could take 1 of these, 2 of these, 3 of these, 4 of these, 5 of these. You don't have to take them all. You could build some 2 picks out of these if you want. Get creative, okay? You don't have to copy everything that I do. Just because I play all 6 doesn't mean you have to do it that way. Maybe there's a really strong MLB play that you're liking. Take 1 of these, put it with the MLB. Maybe you got yourself some cash money, bling, bling, bow, bow. But we're here to give you some ideas, and I think we've got some solid ones right here. Six solid options for you to consider. Now, before they go bumping anything on me, we'll put a little change on this. I'm gonna just put 1640. I've got like 1386.40 in my account. Your boy's been getting beat up by PrizePicks lately. Let's go for the 6 pick. If we get all 6 right, what did it say? $409 will be paid out to yours truly. If we get 5 out of 6 right, $32.78, aka a double up. And if we get 4 out of 6 right, we'll still get a little bit of money back, $6.56, just enough for us to buy a couple of double cheeseburgers to drown our sorrows in if we go 4 out of 6. All right. But there's your first 6 pick play of the day. So there you go. Some options for you to consider, all plus EV, all projected favorably. Shout out to Everyday Fantasy for putting us on Kobe White. Hopefully we're right on White. Let's refresh the Opti. I want to bless you guys with some more picks if I'm able to. See what else you guys are talking about here. Caesar's liking Patrick Williams over on his rebounds. Okay, Caesar. What is Patrick Williams' rebound line at? 3? He's sitting pretty high up here on this optimizer. He's at 3 on PrizePicks, meaning he's been bumped up from 2.5 on the sports books up to 3 now on PrizePicks. But despite the fact that he's been bumped up to 3, the odds are still strong enough at 2.5 rebounds on the sports books that we should be thinking about taking the over on Pat Williams, giving us about a 55.1% chance that it records 3 or more boards. So if you want to play a pick that could potentially tie or push, this looks like one of those types of picks. But let me get you some projections just in case you're curious about Patrick Williams and his ability to record the rebounds tonight. Here's a projection of 2.9. Here's a projection of 4.6. Again, on a line of 3. So that's a pretty healthy projection. And then lastly, projected for 3.9 boards on a line of 3. So the projections are looking pretty good here. They're all right around 3 or more. 2 of them are definitely more than 3 rebounds. This one here is sitting at 2.9. So yeah, you could definitely play some Patrick Williams. It's definitely a plus EV play. It's definitely projecting well. So that could be an option for you if you want. Here's one that's just all of a sudden shot up pretty high here on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. This one we have not covered yet. It's the other Jalen Williams. All right, we talked about J-A-Y. We're talking about J-A-L Williams on this one. The better of the 2 Williams boys. Points and rebounds line 20.5, giving us a 54.8% chance that he goes over. So this one has shot to the top of the optimizer here in the last 5 minutes or so. So getting a lot of action on this one. Let's go take a look at some projections for Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, the better of the 2 Williams boys. So we're looking at points and rebounds. 23.2 projection on a line of 20.5. I would say that that is a great, in fact, projection. 23.2 on a line of 20.5. So that first one's looking very sweet. Let's take a look at some of these other ones. Jalen Williams, points and rebounds, line is 20.5, projections 21.2. More than 20.5, so that's good. Not as strong as the first projection, but still projected over. And then let's get you a third one. because I want you guys to feel like you can get into these picks comfortably, right? 16.5 points plus 6.1 rebounds puts us at 22.6 points and rebounds. All right, his line is 20.5. So we've got 3 really strong projections here on Jalen Williams at 20.5. I think this guy has just made it into our second 6 pick. Here's what I'm going to do. You can reuse some of these players. Maybe you don't feel so confident about Taurean Prince. I'm kind of, iffy on him, so I could leave him out. I could go back to the points and rebounds category to Jalen Williams. Oh, he's been bumped. Son of a... Hopefully somebody got it out there before it got bumped. But listen, even at 21, we just looked at the projections, guys. Even at 21, it still looks like a pretty good play at 21. He could still be a 21 Savage. So, hey, maybe you still take it at 21. Over. More. But yeah, they bumped that sucker. They bumped it. Hate to say it. Hate to see it. But they did it. It's true. Let's refresh the optimizer here. That one shot to the top of the optimizer pretty quick, and it did not last very long. This is why I tell you guys to go get signed up for the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. You can literally sit at this freaking dashboard all day long, hit refresh, and just wait for the best plays to shoot to the top of the board and jump on them before the lines move. Okay? I can almost promise you that it was Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer users that caused that Jalen Williams prop to be bumped up to 21 almost instantly. You got to get in on the tools, and this is the best tool if you're playing on PrizePicks. Let's see. A couple of folks mentioning Vucevic. Troy's asking, what's the best pick for Vooch? Matthew Pacelli. I like that name, man. Is that Italian? I got a little Italian in my blood as well. He's mentioning Vucevic rebounds. Let's look at some of Vucevic. Chicago Bulls, big man. He burned us the other night. For those of you who were riding with the 27.5 points and rebounds for Vooch, he finished with 27. Pretty much went ghost in the second half. It was the Zach LaVine show for most of the third, fourth quarter. DeMar DeRozan was doing his thing, and Vucevic just kind of got left out. He went ghost on us. What is the best Vucevic prop? Well, I'm going to skip over fantasy score. I'm going to drop down to this one. Nikola Vucevic at 15.5 points. Optimizer giving this about a 52.8% chance of him going over at 15.5 points. That would be a very solid option. The next option would be taking the under on Vucevic at 13.5 rebounds and assists. Okay, but let's look at the most optimal play, the most plus EV of all the Vucevic picks, which is the points. We need him to score at least 16 tonight. Optimizer says that he is going to go over 15.5. Let's go take a look at some projections here and see if those projections really vibe with what we're seeing here. Whew. Okay, coming out hot. Right out of the gate here, Action Labs has him projected for 18.3 points on a line of 15.5. 18.3 points on a line of 15.5. Okay, you've got my attention with that one. That's a good, very, very good first projection. Let's go check another one here. Vucevic points, 15.5 is the line, 16.54 is the projection. So that's 1 point higher. A line of 15.5. We need at least 16 out of Vooch if we take the over at 15.5 points. The projection's 16.5. So 2 for 2 so far on Vucevic. Let's go one more. One more projection. Got him at 16.8 points. Again, the line is 15.5. So if you're feeling froggy, go ahead and leap, man. Take Vucevic over 15.5 points. Let's scrap some of these players here. Maybe you build like a little same game parlay. Maybe we could do that. We'll take out some of these guys who are not in this Chicago-Miami game. Maybe you go Vucevic over 15.5 points, Kobe White over points and rebounds at 11.5, Jimmy Butler under 13.5 rebounds and assists. Again, all plus EV plays, all projecting in our favor on 3 different models. Now, I know you didn't like it, but if you want to flex it, nothing wrong with flexing it. If there's a pick that you're kind of on the fence, you don't feel strong enough to power it, maybe you flex Bam Adebayo over 18.5 points. Highly controversial play in today's chat for those of you who are watching live. I know a lot of you did not agree with Bam Adebayo going over 18.5 points, but I'm a wild man, and I'm going to give it a go here. We're going to build a same game parlay. How about that? Miami, Chicago, same game parlay. Y'all leave Jimmy Butler out. Or I'm sorry, y'all leave Bam Adebayo out at 18.5 points if y'all don't want it. It's okay. You don't have to take it. Whose birthday is it? M5D1K. Whose birthday? Vucevic birthday? Joe Robot says, cheers and good luck, CJ and everyone. Good luck to you, Mr. Robots. Thank you for being here. Yeah, Cade. They bumped Jalen Williams up to 21. Yikes. Any other picks from this Chicago-Miami game that you guys are liking? I think we got 4 nice ones right here. We've already done our homework on most of these. Xavier says, best 2-man. What do you guys think, chat? Help Xavier out. What do you guys think are the best 2-man, best 2 picks that we've talked about so far? The Kobe White one was looking nice. The Josh Giddey one was looking really nice. I mean, shoot, even Vucevic at 15.5 points was looking sweet. Light saying, what about Pat Williams? Blocks and steals for Patrick Williams. Where's he at? 1.5 today? Whew. What did he have in that last game? I know he had sticky fingers against the Toronto Raptors. Yeah, he had 4 stocks. That's steals and blocks for Patrick Williams. We could add this guy to our same game parlay here if we want. 4 blocks and steals against the Raptors. Let's look at some projections here on Patrick Williams. First and foremost, we want to know, is this a plus EV play or not? Let's punch him in here. Let's take a look at the optimizer. His blocks and steals, 1.5. Ooh, optimizer saying take the under. Ooh, take the under according to the optimizer. 51.3% chance. Not a real strong chance, but a 51.3% chance that he stays under 1.5. Ooh, controversial. Very controversial. Got him projected here for 1.5. Not a very strong projection when your line is 1.5 as well. Here's a projection of 1.6 on a line of 1.5. And then lastly, 0.8 steals and a 0.7 blocks. That's like, what, 1.5, right? Ugh. The steals and blocks. Steals and blocks are not projecting well for Patrick Williams, and it is a plus EV play to go under according to the optimizer here. So I'm going to stay away from that one. I'm going to swerve that one. You can take it if you want to take it. Now, we did talk about Patrick Williams for rebounds. I was trying to avoid taking any picks that could potentially tie or push, but Patrick Williams at 3 boards does kind of seem nice, and it is projecting well. I wish we got him at 2.5, but hey, you know, can't always get what we want. But this could be another fine play with the potential of at least 3 or more rebounds for Patrick Williams. So then you would have 5 picks if you want to build out a little same game parlay. Very high entertainment value here when you watch a game and you've got like 5 or 6 guys for different picks, different props, right? So that could be an option for you for a 5 pick. What about Corey's suggestion? He's saying PRA for Patrick Williams. Let's see what that's looking like. PRA, of course, for you that don't know, Patrick Williams PRA is at 12.5. That's a combination of points, rebounds, and assists. So he's saying, what about taking the over on that? Oh, well, I mean, take a look at the last 5 games here, and you're going to see some green beans in there. you're going to get a heavy dose of green beans in your diet for Pat Williams at 12.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So I can see this. Let's get some projections though. Let's see if it's, a plus EV play. Here's the optimizer has Patrick Williams at 12.5 points, rebounds, and assists, 50.2% chance. 50.2 is not super strong. But let's take a look here. 12.6 projected PRA. 16 projected points, rebounds, and assists on a line of 12.5 on PrizePicks. That's huge. That projection on RotoWire's really good. And then last but not least, we got him at 8 points. About 4 rebounds. That's 12. And then 1.1 assists, 13.1. So yeah, if you don't want to take a pick that could potentially tie or push, like Patrick Williams rebounds at 3, you can take that one off and swap it out and take the over on his 12.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Or let's see if they have it up on the board real quick, because you guys were talking about liking maybe some blocks and steals for him. Maybe go fantasy score. Maybe go Patrick Williams fantasy score if it's up on the board. Is it? It is not. They did not give us Patrick Williams fantasy score. Damn them. Well, then you'll have to settle for the PRA. That's all right. He's not projecting well for blocks or steals anyway, so screw it. Maybe he gets 1 block or 1 steal. But nonetheless, yeah, you could go this route right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks. Benny's asking about Zach LaVine's points and rebounds. Strength in Numbers is asking about Kyle Anderson's fantasy. Let's tackle Kyle Anderson's fantasy in just a moment. Let's try to find a 6th pick for a same game parlay here. Zach LaVine points and rebounds was Benny's question. What is that line looking like? What is Zach LaVine's points and rebounds tonight? 31.5. Guys, I took the under. On Zach LaVine's points and rebounds in that last game. And it was looking so sweet until, what was it, the 3rd or 4th quarter when Vucevic and DeRozan were on the bench, and then Zach LaVine reeled off 14 points or something in the 3rd quarter. Yeah, it got ugly quick for me. LaVine heated up. But will he heat up tonight against the Miami Heat? That's the question. 31.5 rebounds plus points. Let's go take a look at this one on the optimizer real quick. Zach LaVine points, rebounds line, 31.5, giving us about a 51.2% chance for LaVine to go under 31.5, according to the optimizer. Okay. So you've got the points and assists at 31.5. You got the points and rebounds also at 31.5. Both of these are looking like underplays, according to the way that the odds are on your favorite sports books. Both of these about a 51.5% chance to hit. So let's look at both of those real quick. Maybe we can decide on which one would be the better one to go under on. Both at 31.5. Here's his points and assists projection, 30.3. Here's his points and rebounds, 29.3. So far, 1 vote for points and rebounds under for Zach LaVine. Let's go back over here. Let's take a look at both of the projections on RotoWire. Points and assists, 27.5. Ooh, that's pretty low. Points and rebounds, 28.6. Not quite as low as the points and assists line. But both of these are well under the line of 31.5. Okay. I would say that this is about a draw right now. We're at like a 1 vote points and assists, 1 vote for points and rebounds. Let's see if we can find a potential tiebreaker here for these. Here's 25.5 points. Let's call it 5.5 rebounds just for easier math. That's about 31 points and rebounds, right? The assist is going to be a slightly less than the rebounds on this one. So less than 31.5 on both points and rebounds and points and assists, according to Number Fire. Which would you guys rather go under? The points and assists at 31.5 or the points and rebounds at 31.5 for Zach LaVine? Here's where PropStat Cash can kind of help with answering those questions. We could go over to Zach LaVine, look at his hit rates for both of these for the season at 31.5 points and assists, just 30 for 78 this season. So that's just a 38% hit rate. Stepped out on the court 78 times this season, went over 31.5 just 30 times out of the 78 times that he took the floor. So that's not good, right? Very low hit rate at 38%. So what about the points and rebounds at 31.5? Well, that's got a 40% hit rate, just slightly more. 31 out of 78 versus 30 out of 78 on the points and assists. But both of those are pretty low hit rates, 38% and 40% hit rates. Now we take this a step further. We take a look at what he's done against the Miami Heat. 0 for 2 against Miami this season on the points and assists. 28 and 25. Averaging 26.5 points and assists versus Miami. Again, his line is 31.5 points and assists. And then we go points and rebounds. Even worse. 24.5 is his average. 0 for 2 against Miami with 27 points and rebounds and 22 points and rebounds. And you can kind of see where Miami's defense ranks. Second in terms of total points allowed to opposing teams, meaning there's only one team in the NBA allowing fewer points to the opposition than Miami is. And then they rank 5th in rebounds allowed, meaning there's only 4 teams allowing fewer rebounds than Miami is to their opponent. The assists, they actually do give up more assists than they do rebounds. They rank more favorably in the assist department, more generous, more giving as a defense than they do against rebounders. So I guess to sum it all up, man, I would take the under on Zach LaVine's points and rebounds, I guess, based on what I'm seeing here. But either one looks really good. Either one looks solid. I think I would go with this, though, as a 6-pick same-game parlay. You know, we could do worse with our money. I'm just going to throw a little something on this. Just $10. If we get it right, though, $250.25 would be returned to us. Just throw $10 on it. A little entertainment value while we watch these two teams duke it out tonight, right? Caesar coming through with some breaking news saying Josh Giddey has been bumped. Let's go take a look at that bump on Josh Giddey. We just talked about Josh Giddey not too long ago. What was it? His rebounds and assists? Yep, sure enough, folks. It was 15.5. It is now 16. So congratulations if you were watching, tuning in with me live here. Josh Giddey did get the bump treatment from 15.5 to 16. Now, while we're talking about this game, we did have a question come in about a fantasy score for Kyle Anderson. First of all, I'm going to pose this question to you guys. Is Rudy Gobert for sure playing tonight? Because I'm seeing him up on the PrizePicks board, but we talked about at the top of the show that his status was kind of still up in the air, so I'm a little hesitant on taking anything for like a Kyle Anderson, especially like an over on Kyle Anderson if Rudy Gobert is going to be playing. The latest news I have was from yesterday. It says he's questionable for Friday's playing game against the Thunder. Of course, he was suspended in the game against the Lakers for his sideline altercation with Kyle Anderson. Threw a little punch at his own teammate, okay? But according to head coach Chris Finch, it's uncertain if Gobert will be available due to the issue. His availability is worth monitoring ahead of Friday's 9:30 Eastern Time tip-off, considering he ripped through the OKC front court in both matchups, which he was healthy enough to play 20-plus minutes. He averaged 19 points, 15.5 rebounds against the Thunder. So if Gobert is out, that's going to open up big things for both Karl Anthony Towns and like maybe even a Kyle Anderson. But as of right now, I need to know if Gobert's playing or not. And I don't have clear confirmation that he'll be in or out. So I'm kind of telling you guys, maybe you wait on somebody like Kyle Anderson. But nonetheless, you did ask the question. So let's see if we could get you an answer here. He's at 35.5 fantasy score. So we're going to check some projections on Kyle Anderson right now. As of 1:11 p.m. Eastern time, here's the projections for Kyle Anderson. Projected for 33.96 fantasy score on a line of 35.5. So that's one under, Slight, but still an under nonetheless. Here's a projection of 38.7 fantasy score. And guys, if you're using any kind of like projection systems or models, make sure you're using FanDuel projections. FanDuel scoring is the same as PrizePicks, is the same as Yahoo basketball. So we got one projecting under, one projecting over. Let's see if we could break this tie here. Kyle Anderson projected for 37.5 on a line of 36.5. Or 35.5, excuse me. So 2 projection models have him going over. 1 projection model has him going under. I would say wait and see. Wait and see. Take the wait and see approach. Jeremiah says, PrizePicks is out here watching. Well, I think it's the power of the people here. I think it's all of you that are watching. You're going out and taking these plus EV, well-projected picks, and then PrizePicks is forced to change lines because money's coming in hot. But to summarize here, Kyle Anderson's going to be a wait and see for me. A wait and see. I don't feel comfortable taking the over on or under on Kyle Anderson at this point. Yep, that's what I was hearing too, Jeremiah. Rudy Gobert dealing with back spasms. Troy says, it's tough to take the unders on win or go home games. I know, Troy, I know. But when you look at the game totals here, like especially this first game, my dude, there's only 208.5 points expected to be scored between Chicago and Miami. That's not a lot of points. I mean, you compare that game total at 208.5 to the total of this next game, OKC and Minnesota at 228.5. That's 20 points. That's a pretty big difference. So taking some unders in a low total game, a game with a total of 208.5 points, like it's not a terrible move. Not a terrible move. But I hear what you're saying. I can understand the concern. All right. But guys, 120 of you watching. We're at 93 likes. I need 7 people to hit the like button if you want me to show up tomorrow for a 12 p.m. Eastern Time NBA live show. 7 people hit the like button. I'm going to get out of here. But if you're in Patreon, I'll be posting cheat sheets for the MLB games today. I'll be posting cheat sheets for the NBA games today. And I'll be posting any other plus EV, well-projected picks that I find to Discord for you guys to tail. Over a 71% hit rate month to date on picks that I've posted to you, the Patreon and Discord members. Let's try to keep it rolling again tonight, all right? Good luck on all your entries, and we'll catch you later. Peace.